Hey guys, today we are going to talk about did Kaceytron via her settlement, specifically the performance piece of the apology video to Ethan Klein, essentially all but admitting that she committed copyright infringement. How is that going to affect Frogan and Denims, who are fighting Ethan Klein right now in court? And more to the point, how is that going to affect H3Snark? Right, H3Snark, if you want to go by date, they are the most contentious. They have filed over 1,000 pages that Ethan Klein and his legal team needed to review and respond to, and Ethan Klein has spent probably the most money there. If you are going to go on the basis of pages, how many pages were in the response? Now, Kaceytron's apology is just that it's part of her settlement. She sold both Frogan and Denims out. Woman power. This is a clear example of an individual who is the weakest chain in the link, and she was always going to settle. I always have said that settlement isn't something bad, and perhaps when you're really aggressive, like Denims cannot settle because there are two reasons Denims cannot settle. One reason is for Denims. Denims raised a lot of money to sue Ethan Klein, theoretically, for defamation. Now, this lawsuit never happened, but the money she raised did happen. And she was very proud of herself. She was very proud of her community. So you go from wanting to sue Ethan Klein for defamation to now being sued for copyright infringement. Interestingly enough, her lawyers, the same lawyers that settled, Kaceytron has two set of lawyers. The same lawyers that settled and with, I think these were the main lawyers, is the same lawyers that Denims has. So that might say, okay, maybe the lawyers are more inclined to settle because they understand that this is copyright infringement. But I don't think Denims can do it out of her own spite. And she's already doubled down so much. She has the meanest history with the Kleins. Now, moving on to why even Klein should not want to settle with Denims is because the entire H3Snark, and he's been very adamant about H3Snark uncovering who they are, that entire saga is dependent on Denims. How can you logically say, hey, I need to know who these people are because I want to sue them for contributory copyright infringement when there is no copyright infringement? Part of the H3Snark's argument, which I would agree with, is that this is their best argument, is if Denims didn't commit copyright infringement, we're off the hook because we cannot commit contributory copyright infringement. So it would be weird for him to settle with Denims and still go after H3Snark, which we know he really wants to. How do we know Ethan Klein really wants to go after H3Snark? He's only said it dozens of times, and if you look at the legal resources that he's putting towards identifying who H3Snark is, it's probably more resources from his lawyer put on that subpoena case than all three of these cases combined: Frogan, Denims, and Kaceytron. Now, Frogan's is very interesting. From the very beginning, she would not speak about Ethan Klein. I imagine that she would be the first to settle with Ethan Klein. Right? She has a lawyer that is a budget lawyer. I say that in the best way possible. Budget as in budget friendly. So this is a very positive thing in my opinion. And she evaded service. She is the one that probably has the least amount of money. I think Kaceytron is kind of rich. If you look at the home that she has, and all of this is public knowledge, it's not doxing or you can't dox someone who's part of a public lawsuit and their information is online everywhere. It's impossible to do so. Okay, guys, it's just this internet culture of, information's already out there, easily accessible. Now back to the case of the Frogan thing. I think this has a direct relationship to Frogan. I think it forces Frogan to settle, and it forces Denims not to settle. H3Snark is it does seem they're going to get off the hook for Kaceytron. These three individuals committed very similar crimes. Copyright infringement, right? It's very similar what they were doing. So if you're going to settle Kaceytron, you wouldn't settle with Frogan if Frogan also made an apology. I know people are rallying around Kaceytron saying she's a brave woman. Look, you do what's best for you. And that's why settlement is such a great option, because the legal amount of money would be much more money and time and stress and mental health. That's all. But even the financial money that you would spend on her lawyers would far exceed whatever Ethan Klein can recover. So settlement is best for Ethan Klein and for Kaceytron, financially speaking. Ethan Klein got exactly what he wanted. He got a public apology from Kaceytron. It embarrassed her. It shamed her. It was exactly what Ethan Klein wanted to prove. And he got it. So I think Ethan Klein is the biggest winner here. Frogan is probably most likely to settle now. I don't think Frogan has any fight in her. Denims, for the reasons we talked about in the connection with H3Snark, I don't think that can settle. Now, how much does this have to do with NVIDIA? So Ethan Klein's lawyer is working on all these cases. To my knowledge, it's not a very big law firm. To my knowledge, it's a small law firm. Maybe a very good lawyer, but nonetheless, it is not a 100-person, 50-person, 20-person law firm from what I have studied, from what I found out. That being said, yeah, NVIDIA is the big fish. That's where, if you can win your case against NVIDIA, these three cases are just so small compared to winning your case against a $1 trillion company that is. Every time I go online, people love NVIDIA, so I want to see how that turns out. That one is also for copyright infringement, by the way, and as a copyright attorney, that one is far more exciting to me than this one. Even though this has drama, it has other influencers, the NVIDIA one is interesting. It involves new technology, AI, involves downloading videos and teaching the AI and what's. I mean, we every single field, art, books, learning, every single field has been changed by AI, and AI has done this essentially by stealing people's content and learning from it, and then combining it, and then suddenly it's something new. As an IP lawyer, especially a copyright lawyer, I'm kind of interested to see, because anytime there's a new piece of content created by a human being, the AI is just going to incorporate it into its knowledge base, unless somebody sues and prevents that from happening. So Kaceytron, did Kaceytron sell out Denims and Frogan? Yes. The answer is yes. When three people are in the same case together and they have very similar fact patterns, and one of them settles by apologizing to the plaintiff, that does weaken the other two cases. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the question or in the comments below. Bye, guys.